Yo, what's going on? This your boy Black, aka Chris, aka Johnny Suede, and it's story time. So for those who don't know, I went to Job Corps. I graduated from Job Corps in like 2003. I think I went to Job Corps in late 2000, maybe 2001. Either way, just to kind of give you a kind of reference of time frame and stuff. And Job Corps was great. It was like one of the best experiences that I came across in my life. It was a different world there. I learned how to really like hustle from Job Corps. I learned a lot of things from there. But this one particular story is about a time where we would take trips, on the weekend, away, because we were in Franklin, North Carolina. And for those of you who do not know Franklin, North Carolina is basically, it's like the middle of a whole bunch of mountains. So it's like nothing out there at all. Like nothing out there. Like maybe an Ingalls or some shit, you know what I mean? But that's about it. I think they had like a skating ring and like we would hit that up. Well, this one particular trip, we were taking a trip to the mall in Atlanta. All of the kids, we piled up on a bus, drove like 2 hours away or whatever. And when we got there, well, before we left, it was me and two other guys. And the reason I'm really making this video is because I would hope that they see this video, because I can't remember their names. I think one's name was Ryan, but I can't remember. He used to do tattoos, and he had like a little off walk or whatnot, you know what I mean? Nothing too crazy. But it was me, him, and there was one other dude as well. Well, we had the idea that when we got to the mall, what we were going to do is we were going to break off from everybody else and we were going to smoke a joint, because that was a big thing back then. So we had this big plan, you know what I mean? It was fairly simple, but we felt like it was like an elaborate plan. So the plan was, as soon as we got there, we were going to kind of linger on the bus, let everybody go inside, then we were going to go off, do our thing, go in, because we had like an hour or two or whatever there. So we pull up, and mind you, the person who's driving, he was this fire instructor, like the people who learn how to like fight fires and shit like that. He was the one who teaches, or taught those people. His name was Tilly. Anybody who sees this video who went to Job Corps remembers Tilly. Red hair, dipping his mouth and all that shit. You remember Tilly. Well, Tilly was driving this bus, and Tilly was like one of those ones, like, you don't mess up when Tilly is around. You know what I mean? You just don't do that. So we get there. Everybody gets off the bus. We kind of linger around and shit like that, as planned. And we watched the last person walk in and shit. So I had the joint on me the whole time. Like, the whole time. I had it in my pocket. And once everybody walks in and shit, we kind of, like, skate off or whatever. And I light it up, And we're still kind of in the parking lot, but, like, outskirts or whatever, so we thought. So we smoked like, I want to say a little bit more than half of it, and then we decided to put it out because we wanted to save some for right before we left. So we put it out. I put it in my pocket, in my little fifth pocket, right? I remember having these like checkered jeans on or whatever. It was weird as hell. But we walk in, we're high as hell, and we get in, we're like, man, we're about to have a ball. So we walk down the entrance side alleyway of this mall, and we get to the main part where, you can branch off to the left, branch off to the right, go shopping and stuff like that. So we go left, and we see a couple of the kids and stuff like that, coming in and out of the stores or whatever, and we see a security guard, but we don't really pay him no mind because there's too much distance between us, right? But the more we walked, the more he walked towards us, and then we started kind of like, oh shit. So we dipped in the store real quick, and then like just turned around and then walked back out and stuff like that. Not too obvious. So we're walking now in the direction in which we were coming, and the security guard is like behind us, and he's walking faster, and we hear his walkie-talkie is like, it's the three in front of you. So we're like, oh shit, we try to play it off, and we just go back out to the exit, like go back outside. Get back outside, and we're walking down the steps. Security guard comes out the door, and he's like, hey, you guys stop, you guys stop. And we get to the bottom of the steps right when he says that, and we stop. So we're standing in front of this light pole or whatever, and he's like, I have reason to believe that you guys have, you know, some paraphernalia or whatever on you. And we're like, nah, fuck that. Reeking of weed, like reeking of freshly put out joint, you know? And all of us were like, no, no, no. And then on his walkie-talkie, the guy goes, yeah, it's the guy in the checkered pants. And I'm like, oh shit. What I didn't pay attention to is the light poles all had cameras. So they were able to like zoom in, so much so that when I acted like I went in my pocket and couldn't pull anything out, the guy comes back on the walkie-talkie and was like, yeah, it's in his right pocket. And I guess because of the angle, they couldn't tell it was the fifth pocket or whatever. So he started searching and shit like that. That was before I knew, like, look, bro, you can't, you security, you mall security, you can't, none of that. So, long story short, they trespass us and they like escort us off the property. And then it starts raining, like immediately after, like as soon as we like step off the curb into the street, it starts raining. So there's a Waffle House across the street, and we walk over to the Waffle House and shit. We sit inside, and that was back when you can like smoke in the buildings and shit. So we're all lighting up cigarettes, trying to figure out how the hell we're gonna get, because we've got, at this point, we've got like 30 minutes left before, you know, the bus is about to leave, because we were like fucking off. So we sit there, we come up with this idea, you know, we're like, we're gonna wait till right before, you know, everybody's about to leave, and we're just gonna make our way to the shit, you know, fuck those cameras, they not gonna be able to catch us, blah blah blah. So there was like a gazebo outside of the Waffle House. We went, we posted up out there and shit, and we were adding on to the plan. So the time comes, we're making our way back over, and I remember one of the dudes that were with me, he sees this Bible store, and he's like, yo, I got an idea. So he just darts off and runs into this Bible store, and he comes out with this like $50 Bible or whatever, right? And he's like, all we got to do is, as soon as we get back to the bus, like when we see them going to the bus, we could just be like, yo, I wanted to get this Bible from my grandma, and you know, that's the reason why we were here, like on this side or whatever. So we make our way back, we walk to the bus and shit like that, and the bus is locked. So we're kind of like lingering around the bus and shit like that for about 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, because we had walked on the opposite side of the bus or whatnot, where the, you know, the cameras couldn't see us. So we hear footsteps. We like people around the other side of the bus, and it's Tilly. Tilly's coming to unlock the bus and, you know, pick everybody up. So he opens the door, he kind of gives us that like weird look, and you know, the guy that was with us pulls out the Bible, and he's like, yeah, I got this for my grandma. Like, Tilly didn't ask or anything, he just gave us that look, and dude was like, yeah, I got this for my grandma, blah blah blah. So we get on the bus and we're like, holy shit, we just pulled this off, like what the hell. So we kind of slump back in the chairs and shit like that, we're laughing, joking and stuff. And mind you, they did not take the joint. They didn't take the joint. But we get on the bus. Tilly starts the bus. Tilly drives to the front of the mall. The front entrance of the mall. People start loading up to the bus. Right when we have like maybe 6 or 7 like kids left to get on the bus or whatever, security comes out. Security comes out and walks to the bus. Security walks on the bus. At this point, we're like under the seats, and they walk like not all the way to the back of the bus, but like maybe 5 or 6 seats before the back of the bus, and we're all like looking at each other under the seats and shit like that. And you know, we see him turn around and walk off. They close the door, and we drove back. And like that feeling, you know what I mean? That feeling was so crazy, because I was like 17 and I was like, oh shit, I'm about to get in so much trouble. Like, I'm 2 hours away from where I'm supposed to be, blah, 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 blah. But that was a very, very interesting time. I hope I haven't taken too much of your time. And I hope that this was worth it. That was a pretty interesting story. And if the two guys who were with me see this video, what's up, man? What's good? GA all day. Like we were the guy who one of the guys that was with us, he was the dude who did like tattoos and stuff. And he gave me my first tattoo and stuff. It was like a little cross or whatever. He would use like an electric toothbrush. And we were all thinking like, oh man, we're gonna get this it was like this like globe, and it was like a globe on like a trophy, and it had like GA on it or some shit like that, like we survived GA or some shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, if y'all see this video, man, what's good? Hope everything's been good with y'all. So hope I haven't taken too much of your time. Hope y'all enjoyed this. But there'll be plenty more stories to come. Y'all have a great one. Take it easy.